Welcome everyone. This is Gemini Moon here. Peace, love, shalom. Ha. This is my astrology page, and I am your neighborhood astrologer. And I'm just here to bring awareness to higher consciousness and make available to those who are far out of my physical reach the universal and cosmic make available universal and cosmic tools that we all innately have access to, but just may not be conscious of or may not be able to perceive. So, some people may look at me as a guide, some people will look at me as a guru, but ultimately I'm just a citizen of the earth doing his due diligence, working to conform and merge myself with the greater whole through my individualistic perspectives and resolutions. So this video is going to be for Mars and Virgo transit. So Mars, which is transiting through Virgo from August 17th to October the 1st, October the 4th. I'm titling this video Quality Control. So let's talk about Mars. Let's talk about Mars, and we're also going to break down the zodiac sign of Virgo. Mars is the ruler of Aries, the fire element, cardinal fire leadership. Mars is the planet that functions as our need to be more masculine, which is to create and to pursue and have a focus, our willpower, our sexuality, our action, and our warrior nature. This is the planet that helps us to connect to the fighter in us, the willpower, the brand newness, the youthful pursuit. All right. It is what empowers us. Mars is our personal power. It is our effort. It is our faith. It is our action. And then we have Virgo, which is ruled by the planet Mercury. Virgo is mutable earth. It is a feminine planet. Virgo is all about growth, nurturing what has been. It is the archetype of the mother, the Virgin Mary, service, health. I look at Virgo as the gardener. I also look at Virgo as the worker bees. And that also is synonymous with the angels. Okay, think of worker bees as the angels. So when you think of the Virgin Mary, you think about her story. It's very celestial, very angelic. She had angels come to her and tell her that she was to be the one. She was to be the one to carry the new thing. So this message is for all those who can hear it, for those who are adept to some degree into the mystical arts, into the occult, who are seekers of a cosmic truth. Because this message right now, even as I start to talk about it, I have notes in front of me that's helping me. Just want to let you guys know, I'll even show you. My writing's a little funny, but yeah, I scribbled some notes together, which is a part of this Virgo transit. This Mars through Virgo transit is about perfecting things. Our action and our willpower and our sights are set on perfecting, pruning things. So in Virgo season, this is all about our health. This is all about our daily routines, our habits, our work. Work and service. When you're speaking of the sixth house, because Virgo represents the sixth house of service, which is the things that we do to service others and ourselves. That involves working, involves, proportioning our food, our habits, exercising, yoga. Things that really work to bring together the material reality. Speaking from the aspect of our bodies, this is about our intestines, our guts, what we're intaking and what's coming out. Virgo is a sign of discrimination because it takes a healthy perspective to be able to discriminate from what is needed and what is not needed. Okay? Virgo really, really does help to get in alignment from a nervous system standpoint. That's why Virgo can be condensed into yoga or that yogic balance. Virgo is all about our day-to-day activities, the day-to-day things we do, the hand by hand, stitch by stitch, thread by thread activities that ultimately improve our quality of life. This goes down to the type of work you're doing, how you're doing it, your self-worth, even your association with the many. You know, Virgo also has to do with pets, or more so, the sixth house involves pets. And I mention that because, you know, this is all about healing. Anytime we have a Virgo transit, anytime any planet, there's any type of movement through Virgo, this is going to activate, highlight, and implement some type of healing effect. And so ultimately, this is about improving the quality of life. What we're nurturing. Virgo is the mother. It is the second earth sign. In Taurus is where we find the possessions, the land, the comfort setup, the flowers, the trees, things we have that gives us value, that gives shape in some type of form. Virgo is here to prune and shape the form. That's why they're the gardener. They're here to enhance, make better, with a fresh perspective. You know, Virgo is about efficiency, improving our overall health, mentally, body, and ultimately improving, helping us to ascend to a soul connectivity. Okay? So Virgo is a healer, you guys. So this was some of the channeled writing. We are improving the quality of our lives with Mars transiting into Virgo, taking initiative in our livelihood and putting together the pieces of anything broken. This will be a time that demands reflection, examination, tests, trials. Routine is seen as prudence. We become a student of wisdom. We take shape as the hourglass. And certain affirmations that I wrote: I am developing my skills. I am receiving help and mentorship for career purposes. Okay? So here in Virgo is really the developmental stages. We're still in a developing stage where Virgo is concerned. There's always room to get better. There's always room to grow. And there's even this sense of nagging. This almost this blocked sense of control, you know. You know, Virgo characters can feel in some way, you know, not good enough. And so with this transit, we want to initiate and be flexible. Like, we want to be committed to our decisions. So I saw a quote the other day. This is a perfect quote. And it said, be committed to your decisions, but be flexible in your approach, you know. Virgo is very established. You know, Virgo has a way established for them. And now it's about taking those pieces of the puzzle, putting it together and seeing how you can make the picture better, getting to the bigger picture, shaping the landscaping, Virgo could be also correspondent to, weeding out a garden. You have a garden with a lot of fresh flowers, but there's weeds there. Those things need to be plucked in order to make the picture that much more beautiful, to give a clearer, much more refined, much more quality. So this is really about improving the quality of our life and improving our perception with wisdom and with virtue and with righteousness. What's the bigger picture? Virgo is willing to look at the bigger picture, and really see the whole of the landscape of humanity, of their work, and see how it affects everyone. See how it affects them, but see also how it affects everyone. So in this, there's a little bit of possessiveness. There's a little bit of wanting to control other people, wanting to control a certain environment, because, in this thing, we have to lead new lives. We are leading new lives with Mars being I hear in my head, the access point. Mars and Virgo, when you think of Mars, Mars in a way is the ego nature in its active form. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's the self in its personal power. So this is where we start to really be like, create new comforts and start to really establish and, cut, copy, paste, and edit. This is that type of season of cutting down things that are not needed, improving our borders, improving our boundaries, and also purifying an experience. Virgo is very pure. And the reason why Virgo is pure is because it represents the Virgin Mary, who had a child without having sex. This was in order to establish the connection between humanity and source in the story of the Bible, in the story of Jesus and his mother, the Virgin Mary. Okay? It was about purifying a relationship with the divine, between man and God, so to speak. So when you have Aries, when you have Mars in the sign of Virgo, in the sign of the mother, it's almost like, the mother is nurturing our actions. This is where we take right action, action that makes sense, that adds up to things. This is where we want reciprocity, reciprocating. If I'm giving back to something, it needs to be given back to me. So this is where we start to make choices based off of what makes sense and what's going to add to our lives, what's going to create better structures. And this could come in the form of removing people. This could come in the form of not spending so much money, or really putting a focus on where you spend your money, how much of it, And yeah, this also is going to be a time to heal. Virgo is about healing, removing, discriminating between, what you intake. So the type of food you eat, if you're working on losing weight, if you're working on getting a more lean body, you have to exclude certain things. This is about, again, improving the quality of living. So I wrote down a couple of things as well. So say group rituals, getting with people who know more than you, who are better than you at the field that you want, studying with those people, learning from those people, taking pieces of what they do and putting it into your format to make it better. The Hermit card. This is, the Hermit is associated with excluding himself from society, and not so much excluding itself from society, but just being a little bit more quiet, being a little bit more studious, being a little bit more observant, opening your mind to greater perception. Some of the main numbers that I am implementing into this Virgo season that I feel like are important are the number 9 and the number 3. Number 9, which denotes completion, pushing forward to completion, seeing something to the end, putting in your efforts. Number 9 also represents Buddha and Christ. So that's where that Hermit lifestyle comes from the adept, esoteric wisdom. Number 9 really is all about wisdom. Number 3 is all about connectivity, envisioning, growth, expansion. So, in a sense, we're going to be learning and we're going to be growing and expanding and optimizing our true wealth and subsidies through a little bit of conflict and through a little bit of needing to relearn balance, okay? Envisioning and completing, task by task, thread by thread, the details. Virgo is the perfectionist. Virgo is all about the details. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. The moment you give up is when you have failed. And I also wrote here, polarity mass. Polarity mass. So just go somewhere with me for a minute, people. You know, Mars is going to be squaring the mutable signs now. Mars is the leader in us, the initiator. We want to start something, you know, but Mars in Virgo, you're going to be learning how to complete things, how to not just start things, but there's an emphasis on implementing Mars's lessons in Leo of our creative self-expression, and now implementing yourself into your daily routines, really sewing in the thread, you know, sewing in the fabric of your life, being cut, you know, becoming the hourglass, becoming the hour, you know, an hourglass is very precisely shaped. So for many of you, this is about the body. You want that hourglass shape, you want that Coke bottle shape, or what have you. You want abs, you want a bigger chest. This is about removing the toxins in your life. What is toxic? Mars in Virgo is going to be there for a long time. Like if you notice, Mars was not in Leo for that long. It's August, what's today? The 19th or the 20th? The 19th? Yeah, the 19th. Mars just entered Virgo on the 17th. It was 0 degrees on the 17th. It's going to be there until October 4th. So I keep saying 1st. October 4th. So this is going to be through September, all the way damn near up to, well, not that far into going into, it's going into Libra. Mars is going to be in Virgo until Libra. So this is where we start to really fine tune and fine print, like fine print the terms of our relationships, who we're going to be, what we're going to allow, what we're going to accept, what needs to be done away with. And this has a lot to do with, you know, of course, artistic pursuits, you know, writing, film, movies, cut, copy, paste, and edit. Putting the pieces together, you know, references. And this is why I say this is going to be a good time to really get with groups and get with people, get with support groups, get with places where you can learn and start to orient yourself to a different way of living, to a different way of doing things, a different language, a different context. This is going to be an amazing time for writers. Amazing time for writers. And mathematicians and scientists, astronomers, astrologers, people that work in science, people that work in literature. This is going to give us that pump. It's going to give us that elevated circumstance where we can really fuse action with preciseness. This is all about precision. Being committed to our decisions, but also being flexible. So what I want to do is just pull a card for this energy and see how we best can use this energy, what we need to pay attention to, what is the overall theme for Mars in Virgo. And one fell out immediately. The Daughter of Pentacles, which is Virgo. Daughter of Pentacles. Okay. I'm hearing in my head, let's talk. I'm hearing talk is cheap. I'm hearing talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. Daughter of Pentacles, you know, she's orienting herself. She's responsible. She's got her, well, not 10 toes, but she's got her hooves down on the ground, you know, ready to face the task of the day, ready to face the day. So Mars and Virgo is going to bring us a readiness. I'm hearing confusion. I'm hearing talent. There's going to be some confusion. You know, there's going to be some shift. This is a very shifting energy. You have a initiating cardinal sign and a mutable learning sign. So we're coming to a head on something. We're coming to a gap. You know, there's going to be some gaps in consciousness. I'm going to go ahead and pull one more card. There's going to be some gaps in consciousness. You know, people are going to feel, some people are going to feel like they've stepped into completely new territory. You know, but there's this readiness to embark on a new journey, to learn something new, to, you know, get a new job, to figure out what type of career that you want, really shaping and envisioning that. This is a really great time to dream and envision while we're working. And it's also a time for small victories. It's not a time for, it's a time for planning for the future and envisioning the future and writing things down, but it's not a time to really, focus on the bigger, like, it's not a time to focus on the bigger picture. Like, this is a time to really focus on the details. Like, by this time, you should know your heart's intention. And with that, you're going to lead everything you do with love and precision, you know, because love is in the details. We're going to learn that in Virgo season, that love is in the details. And if you're doing everything you can do every single solitary day, like, this is the time to, at the same time, focus on the bigger picture by focusing on the little victories, the step by step, like being very, very objective but subjective at the same time. Keeping your head straight, keeping your head screwed on straight. And then, what did I say about Libra? We got the Justice card, okay? The Justice card. This is Libra's card. So coming to a point of truth, coming to a point of truth. We're coming to a point of truth. Where we saw, you know, where you're making decisions, cutthroat decisions, very cutthroat, very cold, cut to the bone decisions about your livelihood and about your place in it and about your stance, and even your stanza, your one-liner, you know, your philosophy, your truth, your sense of justice. Mars and Virgo is going to be beautiful, you know, with all the planets in Leo. It feels like a party. It feels like we expressing ourselves, we having drink, we're loud. But Mars and Virgo is going to be the real party for some of us. I'm claiming that it's going to be a time of divine favor. Divine favor, the Lover's card. Interestingly enough, Virgo and Gemini, because this is Gemini's card, this is the number 6, this is the number 7. There's an elevation. There's an elevation. There's an elevation happening here. Both of these cards are about choice. This is about the freedom to make better choices for yourself, the freedom to choose how you reenact and engage with life on a much more super conscious, loving way. Partnerships, union, desire. This is about, I'm hearing in my head, not swallowing it whole, but taking things piece by piece, taking it step by step, taking it day by day. You know, you have the goal is already in mind. You know, write out a long list to yourself of everything you want and everything you wish to achieve. Read it out loud to yourself. And then burn it, and then implement a plan day by day that puts you in the trajectory of that. Where your wildest dreams can be achieved, your wildest desire, you know, can be achieved. So I'm very, very happy about this video. I'm very, very happy about Mars and Virgo.